Hi guys, it's me, Kathy. Mrs. Handy, are you? Or you can call me Kat, like some of you are, which is so sweet. So I hope everybody's doing okay today and your vibes are up and all that good stuff. Mine are. I'm all excited. Gardening is in full swing. So if you see me gone for a few days, it's not that I'm away. I'm just out back in the garden working on putting in my little seedlings that I grew and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's not that I don't care. It's just that this is go time for gardening. And I'm sure a lot of you are in the middle of the same thing. So I'm going to start right off. And this is just a little tiny snippet from Greg Wagland's audiobook of, Sherlock Holmes. And this one's called The Adventure of the Cardboard Box. And like I said, it's Sherlock Holmes. So it's not acting. Well, it is acting, but it's just audio, not visual. So let's see what happened. I've only got a little page from it. Normally I'd get like 15 pages if I did the whole thing. One quote is, unless she is a most consummate actress, and actress was at 53, reverse 35, and 1707 in this audiobook, a double murder has been committed. And when you look at 1707, you have 77 Christ, Donald Trump, Decode the Message, Jesus Wept, Jack of All Trades, League of Legends, Triple Helix, and First Woman. So that's interesting. And they said a double murder. Now, who really killed Cain? I mean, Cain supposedly ate Abel, but did Eve eat Abel? I'm kind of wondering about that because everything we've been taught in the Bible seems to be kind of backwards. There's probably a few things that are still accurate, but there's a lot that isn't. So what if we were lied to about that? It's just something, keep an open mind. It could have been that Eve did it. We know that she ate from the tree of life against God's will, against his law, and the tree of life was human DNA. So could it have been Abel, one of her own children? I don't know. This is going along with the story, the Sherlock Holmes story. It's 1722. These two people are presumably dead, or we would have heard their story before now. The sender of the packet, that was 1722, is the man whom we want. It was kind of a gory story. They were this woman, one out of three sisters, so we've got three women again, received a packet in the mail, and it had, it turned out it was a man's ear and a woman's ear set in, I think, salt or something like that. Really gross. So those two people had been murdered. That was part of the whole story. And then Sherlock said, pictures in a group. And then at 2025, he said, 3 ladies upon the mantelpiece. So that's when he noticed that there was the lady he was helping, the one sister, had 2 other sisters that looked like her. And so they were all sitting on the mantelpiece. Sarah and Mary. So the next thing I wrote was, Jim would have come down here before he broke the pledge, meaning that no alcohol. And another way to look at it is breaking a pledge would be God's pledge. Don't eat the people. Okay. It's easy enough. Don't eat the people. I know I'm sounding annoyed, but it's easy. Don't eat the people. I'm sure they had plenty of food. But like I said in the last video, I guess the snake was just so convincing, you know, and he pretended he was God, as far as I understand. Or else he pretended God, yeah, maybe this is more like it. He wanted it to make it look like God was withholding the biggest secret from Adam and Eve, or the twins, Adam and Eve's. And if they think a secret is being withheld, maybe that's what would have caused them to do it, you know, that the best is yet, like the best is yet to come, the snake is probably saying, kind of like POTUS, right? The best is yet to come. Go ahead and eat this, these guys, and then you'll know what God knows, you know. So I shouldn't get mad at them. I told them I forgave them. So I'm not mad at you guys, really. I'm talking in my big bag. I'm really not mad at them. I mean, you put yourself in that kind of position. It would take a lot to put yourself in that kind of position, you know, thinking about it, all the nuances of what's happening. Maybe they don't have a knowledge of what's happened in the past. Maybe they only have the knowledge they have from that moment they were created on. And if you're manipulated by the most evil spirit ever, you know, what are they going to do? So I should stop being upset, right? And I do forgive them. I don't like what happened, but I can still forgive them. And I love them. So, okay. Yeah, so in the story, the cardboard box, Jim would come down here before he broke the pledge against alcohol. And yeah, he would go down and he was fine until that happened. And then the person said he had caught me, caught her meddling. And then the next line is, all the actors in the tragedy were to be found in our seafaring classes. And that's Sherlock talking. It was clearer than ever that she understood its full significance, but equally clear that we should have to wait for some time for any assistance from her. So it's kind of like she knows what's going on, really, but it's almost like she didn't want to admit it. You know, talking about the ears and who it was and why did it happen in the box, you know. Yeah, and she, from her, that phrase was at 34:17. So the house was closed more than 3 days. And they were due in the Thames overnight. So that's a little bit confusing. We're talking about the water again. 34:35, and I have no doubt we shall have all our details filled in. And then river police is mentioned, like the things they did, faking, you know, John faking his death in Dallas and Jackie going along with it. All that will come out, and they'll have like a little fireside chat, from what I'm getting from all these other decodings. Maybe it'll be in this video, and they'll explain what happened in the Garden of Eden. They'll explain what happened in 1963, that they were under attack. I mean, they were threatened to be killed all the time. They wanted, I think what they did was they wanted to go out on their own terms, and then they could have things happen their way, and they could get things going undercover. Part of the plan to keep things going and advancing and to reveal truth. Now, I know a lot of you guys would say, well, that's a long time, 1963 to now, you know, 2020. But what's time, right? We're not on a linear time scale. That's not what we're on. We're on something much beyond that. And this is what they could do. You know, this is what they could do. So we really can't complain about it. They're doing it as the best that they can. So I'm jumping around a little bit, but you know how I am with factoids. So I entered in Gematrix.org, Diana Frances Spencer, and Frances is Frances. I hope so, because that's what I used. Well, I didn't enter her name, but that's who I was referring to. So I tried in Gematrix.org, actually DFS, which is Diana Frances Spencer, is Barron's mother. And you can also enter it a different way, but it's the same numbers. You could say, is DFS Barron's mother? You know, so it's all the same number at the end. So DFS is Barron's mother is 223. And that equals political witch hunt, which is one of POTUS's phrases, which is always a big deal when you hit something that's one of his everyday phrases. Because he wants you to look at that value. You know, he wants you to know what else is 223 besides political witch hunt? So, 223 equals, and we're asking about, is Barron, basically is DFS, Barron's mom. So another 233 equals God encoded birth info. So we asked about his birth mother, and we get God encoded birth info. It equals 222. And from the movie Dirty Dancing, which is full of QComs, 222 is one of the key things to look at and expect. Okay, 223 also equals it's showtime, folks. And then it equals anything is possible. I thought that was a good one. And this is an even better one. My child, you are a saint. As if Diana is saying, my child, you are a saint to Barron. And because the question involved Diana Frances Spencer and Barron. The last one I have is truth is everything. So to me, I think Diana is the mother to Barron. So that's what I get out of that. Maybe you guys get something else, leave it in the comments. I take criticism very well, unless you call me a complete idiot. I might block you because it's my channel. I can do that. And it doesn't bother me, so whatever. Let's see. So what did I do here? Oh, I tried in Gematrix.org. Will the beast be real? Like I'm going, okay, about the beast thing. Are we really talking about a literal beast? Like, okay, what's going on here? That's what I wanted to know when I asked this question. Will the beast be real? That equals 179. And I won't read them all, but anyway, 179 dies a gruesome death. Sounds like the beast would be real if you read that. The art of faking death. Will they not really die? Will they really die? Or is this a reference back to at the cross where they took the poison and it looked like they were DOA, but they weren't? And maybe this is the reason that they meet the beast, you know? So that could be another way of looking at the art of faking death. Broken promises, like going against God's law. Let's see, about to get killed equals will the beast be real? You've been warned is another. King Donald Trump, The Coming Storm, Davy Jones' Locker, like Under the Sea. If she can stand it, I can. To me, that sounds like Adam and Eve, or as the way I look at it lately anyway, it's Junior, our Junior, you know who our Junior is, and Lady Diana. How about this one? Will the beast be real equals a murder of crows, which is what you call a group of crows, a murder of crows. Isn't that weird? I want to be better matches that. Brothers in arms. She's my sister. Keystone State. We know that's Pennsylvania, but Keystone seems to be important here. Who is the Keystone? Which was a 17th letter question. And then we have 50-year Jubilee, which is the Jubilee Juan talked about a while ago. He talked about, yeah, the 50-year Jubilee was the one, I'm pretty sure, where all debts were forgiven. Let's see, what else do we have that's, will the beast be real? 179. She can't have children. It's interesting, because instead of just looking at it like pregnancy and that kind of way of she can't have children, you can look at it as she can't have children, like that. Don't fear the reaper until we meet again. Surviving death. So it looks like they go to hell, whichever direction hell is. Then they go to heaven. Then they're brought right back, I think, on some kind of light beam or laser, something that's brilliant, and they come back. The art of the comeback. That's appropriate for what I just said. Surviving death. World earthquake. And I think the whole world will seem like, you know, at least all US earthquakes will be going off at once, from what I understand from decoding, when all this happens, or maybe right before. So yeah, world earthquake, it could be with an S. This one is singular, but Wayne Willott, which was an alias of 107. Let's see, what else matches? 179. Will the beast be real? It equals Diana Frances Spencer. It equals her name. Diana of the Ephesians matches. It matches. She lives in England. And then we have chance to start again, because what'll happen to me is that she has the joy to heal all. Yeah, I've gotten that so many times. And chance to start again is not just for her and him or whatever, whoever's there. It's for all of us, and that we'll be healed. Project Kronos with a K, Kronos, is 179. Oh, and God Kronos, and I looked this up a really long time ago, one of the first things I ever looked up. Kronos was a god, a mythological god, and he ate his own children. Yeah, and then the wife gave him rocks instead of the children, and he ate the rocks, and he didn't know any different. So good for God Kronos. Walking dead rise up. Like they're going to look on, they're going to rise up. Raised to the sky. All this is 179. Remover of disease. Like I said before, at least Eve and Mary, they have the joy to heal all. And I think it's going to happen when they go up, they come back, they go to hell, wherever, they go up to heaven, they come back to us. It's weird, but that's all in Revelation 11. It's not very long. You should really read it. And I usually use, I wasn't going to say this. What was it? Well, it's Revelation 11, but it's not the King James. It's the one before that, the Geneva Bible. I think it's 1599 Geneva Bible. You can look it up online and find out what they said and what their notes said. And the notes are pretty helpful. And they're not hard to understand. Okay, so I said remover of disease. 179 is also Constitution. 4 more years. We are always chanting that back before the election, 4 more years. Think about all the things that we were really saying. All these things. A murder of crows, brothers in arms, tell the story, 50-year jubilee, all that is Constitution when you think about it that way. So God looks at us, when we say things, he looks at it in different ways. Like in the Bible, it says, constantly pray. Well, you and I know that we don't constantly pray. Like constant means like all the time. But the words that we're saying can be interpreted as prayers or parts of prayers. That's the way I look at it. So I don't feel as bad once I figured that out, that all these words that we say, all these phrases that we say, all have higher meanings in Gematria. Let's see, what else do we have that's 179? 20 years, which President Trump brings up all the time, Juan does, and our Mr. C, Michael Cottrell, who must be JFK and maybe Junior too, taking turns, always talk about 20 years. And anyway, I guess that's it on that. But that was really something to think about. Will the beast be real? That's what I was working on. And a lot of really good things came up on it that were interesting. Now, another, I think I've already done this, but it bears repeating. Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr., spell out Jr., is 316. And it equals that phrase that we've been all using so much in the last period of time on Twitter, Telegram, all that. And it's usually NKWIC. And that means nothing can stop what is coming. So spelled out, nothing can stop what is coming equals 316, which is Joseph Patrick Kennedy, Junior. I don't think that's an accident, you guys. He became our junior that we talk about, JFK Jr. He reincarnated into him. And unless I get more information, that's the way I think it happened. He died in World War II in a accident. He was probably murdered. And he was reborn as our junior into the Kennedy family. So he was a Kennedy. He was reborn into the Kennedy family. And his mom and dad would have, in quotes, would have been Jacqueline and John F. Kennedy. But really, Joseph Patrick, way back before he had the plane accident, way back before World War II, he and John were twins. And I think I explained that 2 videos ago. So go back and look at that, because it's so hard. I can't explain the same thing over and over and over again. But they were really twins, not father and son. And that's why John had such a special place in his heart for John Jr., because he was his twin brother. And John Jr. actually was the older of the twins. So if you look at JFK Jr. and John, they were born as twins and a couple of minutes apart. And, you know, twins, the first one born always acts like the older sibling, even though it's minuscule, the amount of minutes they're older. But the firstborn acts older, and that was our junior. Was born a couple of minutes, like about 2 minutes before John F. Kennedy, POTUS. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. You must hate me. Okay, another thing that Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. at 316 matches is the anointed king of the Davidic line and Jesus Christ resurrection. And another 316 is Melchizedek, child of the Most High God. And 2 witnesses return. The world's most beautiful man matches. And remember, there was Junior on Time magazine, and he was called the world's, I don't think it was beautiful, but I think it said the world's most handsome man. And boy, if you have that copy of that Time magazine, hold on to it. Yeah. And the military is the only way is 316. Which matches Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. The military is the only way, which is 17th letter phrase. So anyway, should I stop now? I don't know. Yeah, we'll stop. I love you guys. And think about what I said in the last video about let's have a meetup. Even if it's only a few of us, let's do it. It's fun to meet in person. And if you're feeling alone, definitely let's give it a try and have a meetup. And it could be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is almost Massachusetts. Not all that far from New York, you know, probably 3 hours, depending on where you are. It's not far from Maine. We're almost on the Maine border. So there's, in Vermont, it's not far. So maybe some of you guys are from those areas and wouldn't mind driving a little bit. Maybe you could make it a little getaway, because Portsmouth is supposedly one of the most awesome cities to visit. Look Portsmouth, New Hampshire up, and you'll find out that they rate Portsmouth as, I think, one of the top 10 cities, small cities, to visit in the whole United States. And we have a small coastline, but we could even make it a picnic kind of thing on a good day, or we could make it a pizza thing, something inexpensive. So anyway, if you're interested, email me at mrshandyru@comcast.net, and we'll see if we can get something going for this summer. And we shouldn't wait to do it. We should really do it. So anyway, I love you guys. And please leave a comment or a question. And don't forget to subscribe to Tom Sidney Bushnell at Psych Club. He's been so kind to me, helping me throughout my journey. And please support Tom Numbers over at Psych Club. It would mean a lot to me. And if you want to support me too, I have all my things at the end of the videos, and I do buy me a coffee under my name, you know, And what else do I do? I don't know, Patreon and all that stuff I do. So if you guys would like to help us get through our medical expenses, and I certainly would appreciate it. And so would Mr. Handy. So anyway, love you. And let me know what you think about a meetup. Bye-bye.